What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rad Chad Show. Today I have got with me, yet again,
Miss Audrey.
And we have got a jam-packed schedule. And by that, I mean we really don't have much to talk about at all. It should only take about 20 minutes.
We'll see.
So let's see if we can cram it in. The first thing that we'll go through about four different groups of things. The first of which is we'll talk about some new games that we have coming in. Then we'll talk about retailers and how maybe some mainstream retailers are going big. Then we'll talk about some games that we played recently and didn't cover in the last episode. And then last but not least, we'll just talk about what our favorite and least favorite game of this year has been so far. You ready?
Sounds like a good showdown.
All right, let's do it. So I recently grabbed Downforce, which we talked about in last episode, and we sort of did a summary of it. But what I want to know from you is, what do you think of Formula D?
What do I think about the game in general?
Yeah. Do you like it?
I think it's a decent game. I'm not ever super excited to play it, but whenever I do play it, it's a totally fine game with me.
I love Formula D. It used to be in my top 10 favorite games of all time. I don't think it's there anymore, and I can understand why people don't like Formula D. Because I think that you can have a runaway leader problem. If you get stuck in the back of the pack, you can sort of stop caring about the game. Downforce, I don't think there's room in our collection for two racing games. But Downforce is getting some great reviews right now. It's a racing game that has got like a camel up mechanic to it. So you bet on who you think's going to win.
Okay.
So even though it might not be your car that ends up winning, you still have a vested interest in like watching the game play out. So we'll see if it's better than Formula D. I don't think the odds are good.
That it's better?
But we're going to try it anyways.
You don't think it's going to be better?
No. Because I really like Formula D. Okay. The next one, which you are probably going to be more interested in than Downforce, is Magic Maze.
Yes. I'm more interested in it.
We watched Rado's run-through, which, okay, so interestingly enough, Magic Maze gave me the same feel. We haven't played it, obviously, but it gave me the same feel when we were watching it as Escape Curse of the Temple.
Yeah, I can see how you would feel that way.
I was introduced to Escape Curse of the Temple by Rado. So the guy that we watched the run-through of, he did the Escape one. Now you obviously bought that game, and here we are years later buying Magic Maze. What are your expectations for this game?
Well, watching the playthrough, I think it gave me a little bit of expectation that we're not really going to be able to talk to each other.
That is definitely a true expectation.
And that's going to be kind of harder for me because I feel like in games, I kind of want to talk about the game. And that's going to be tough to be like, hey, Chad, will you please move that character? And I'm not going to get to say it. So I feel like I'm just going to be super stressed out. But I'm really excited because a game like this, for me, I feel like it's going to be lighthearted. So I'm going to want all those little guys to get their weapons and get out, but I can see how if it doesn't work out, it just doesn't work out. But I'm just excited.
Yeah, this one will be interesting. So we've gotten rid of Escape Curse of the Temple, and I think that was mainly because it's just too stressful of a game. And I think that this game could be equally stressful with it being having that time component to it. And so you are constantly against the clock. You could get frustrated with other players just like you could with Escape. I think Escape was a good game, but we just weren't playing anymore because everybody was like, oh, I don't know about that. It's too tense of a game, and they stopped wanting to play the game. Magic Maze, I think, could be in a similar boat, but we don't have a game that fits this niche on our shelf anymore. So I've got high hopes for it, and we're going on vacation soon, so the two of us could play this a few times, especially because it's quick, it's small, it'd be a good fit.
I think so. I'm excited because I do kind of miss Escape in the sense that I kind of want something where I'm rushing to get out, and I don't know, I like that type of tensity.
Yeah.
Tenseness.
Okay.
Anyway, so I'm excited to put something back on the shelf that'll give me that same feeling.
Understood. The last one that we picked up was Sonar, which is the more or less 2 to 4 player version of Captain Sonar. Now, we have Captain Sonar right now. We just looked. We've played it 3 times so far this year. What do you think of Captain Sonar?
I really, really enjoyed Captain Sonar. I think, especially if you get the right group of people together, it's just going to be a lot of fun because I feel like you can really get into your role. And I like the kind of games where you can really get into the game. So this was definitely one of those games, and I really enjoyed it when I played it.
Absolutely love Captain Sonar. We were talking about my top 10 thematic games list that I was kind of pre-constructing the other day. Spoiler warning, it would definitely be on my top 10. I think that it's just tremendously difficult to get that game to the table. You really need 8 players, 2 teams of 4. To find all 8 of those people, it's just not easy to do.
That's true. I feel like I know 8 people, but to get the right 8 people to come together is just too hard. Like, I've been talking with my friends for a long time. When can we get together to play Captain Sonar again? And then there's just never a good time for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, not only do you, that's a big group of people. Everybody has to coordinate. You have to have the right people. So it's all sorts of problems. Love the game. Would play it much more frequently if we could. So in comes Sonar, which you can play as 2 players. We might test that out one of these days with just the 2 of us. I can't say I want to do that, though.
That sounds tough because you'd have to be speaking your coordinates to yourself.
I don't even know how it works.
I don't know how that's going to work.
I haven't looked at the rules. This just seems like one of those cases where you have to be in a team. It's a 4-player game, but they've thrown in a 2-player option. Just my gut. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe somebody in the comment will be like, no, you're an idiot. Anyways, so Sonar, 4 players, 2 teams of 2 could be a great couples game. And I think that'll be a lot easier to get 4 people to the table. The 2 of us against 2 other people. Maybe boys versus girls.
It depends.
We know which group would win that. It would be you guys. Okay, so anyways, those are the 3 games we have. Downforce, Magic Maze, and Sonar. I'm looking forward to all 3.
Yeah, I've played games like these, and I like all the games that are like these, so I'm excited to play these.
Okay. I do all of our board game purchases, not most. Where do I buy all of my board games from?
Online.
Such as?
The only one I really know is like Cool Stuff.
Okay. And who's the biggest one though? Oh, come on. This is a softball.
I'm sure if you
Who do we get packages in from every single day of the week?
Amazon.
Yes.
That
Okay.
was easy.
I buy almost everything online. It's cheaper. It's fast. I have great customer service with those 2 outlets in specific. Interestingly enough, all 3 of those games, Downforce, Magic Maze, and Sonar, I bought physical copies of at retail stores. I got Downforce and Magic Maze at Barnes & Noble. They were just released at Gen Con, which is the big board game convention. And then I bought Sonar at Target. So it's interesting that I could not find any of those 3 games online right now. And when I went to Barnes & Noble, they've got, they've always had a pretty good shelf of what I'll call board games, right? The strategy section. And now they've got end caps, they've got smaller side tables, and they're just jammed. It's like overflowing.
It's like a really decked out little, like, they tried to keep it small, and it's getting a little too big for their small little display.
Yeah, and they're almost turning into a friendly local game store. Like, in fact, here where we live, there's one friendly local game store that we're not big fans of because of some customer service issues. But the other options around here probably have fewer games. They're more Magic the Gathering shops than even Barnes & Noble had, which is saying something about both Barnes & Noble and the other friendly local game stores that we have options of here. So I found that interesting. I also found it interesting, I think Target's got some sort of exclusivity deal with Sonar where they're the only ones who can sell this game. I don't know if it's a timed exclusivity or if forever and ever amen they're going to be the only ones with Sonar. I found that really interesting.
I feel like retail stores are upping their game. I feel like I've been able to see more games on the shelf, and every time I walk into a store, I'm like, oh, check that out. They have XXX game on the shelf. I'm surprised. And just recently, actually, today, I walked into Walgreens, of all places, and so they did have some board games, but sadly enough, they were all on clearance.
Yeah, big asterisk there. They were selling them for dirt cheap.
Yeah, they were selling them for dirt cheap. I just don't feel like people think, I need to pick up a board game. Let's go to Walgreens. Yeah. So I just happened to see some games that we were big fans of. So I picked them up for dirt cheap, literally almost chump change. It was really kind of sad, but then again, I got to pick up some really nice games.
You didn't know at the corner of Happy and Healthy that you would find some board games.
I did not know that.
Okay. So anyways, basically just wanted to say, that it looks like some major retail outlets, Target and Barnes & Noble in specific, really upping their game as far as board games are concerned. And I'll be interested to see if this is a trend that moves forward or not.
I hope it is. I feel like board games don't have as big of a face as they should.
No. Yep, you're right. Okay, so then there are a few games that we've played recently but haven't covered yet. The first one was Kingdomino.
Yeah, we played that really recently.
We did.
Past, like a couple weeks.
Not even, it was this week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we played it sitting right here with your brother.
We did.
And so Kingdomino I talked about, I think, in episode 2. And basically I said I was nervous that the game was going to be too simplistic. And I said, fortunately, though, I've been wrong on many occasions. And one example was Onirum Onirum. I thought, I passed on that game for the longest time because I just thought, what's all the rage? I don't understand why this game is interesting at all. I thought the same thing about Kingdomino, and I only bought it because it was $12, and I was going to get free shipping if I paid an extra $5. So I was like, why would you not? So anyways, we played Kingdomino, played as a 3-player game. I thought it was short of excellent. It was very good. It fit a great little niche on the shelf, which is it gave me, it is the game, but this kingdom builder feel kind of like I get with Quadropolis, what I hope I get with Civilization, but in this really small, condensed, easy to introduce package, sort of like Lost Cities or Battle Line. Those are 2-player games, but you could introduce those to anyone. I feel like this game as well could be introduced to anyone and would be a great filler when somebody who hasn't played board games before comes over, introduce them to this game.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I feel like it didn't feel like we were playing for very long. I felt like I understand the rules from the get-go. And then, you get to watch your little kingdom grow, and it's just kind of fun to see what you've built. So,
I got to give this publisher in specific some hats off because the tiles in this game, again, I only paid $12 or $13 online. I think retail's maybe $15 or $20, but the tiles are super nice. They give you your little city thing that you build with cardboard, which is really superfluous. It was just to add theme to the game, of which a game that has very little theme. The artwork was cutesy. It was very app style cutesy. I just thought the production of the game was good.
I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, but there was definitely a Loch Ness Monster.
And there was a Dagron, a dragon.
There was definitely a dragon in there.
The Burninator. All right, I'm getting notifications like crazy here. All right, so we played Kingdomino. We also played Century Spice Road recently. I've played it twice. You've played it once. We talked about this last episode. I do not like Splendor, and this was being sold as basically Splendor for gamers. If you wanted the next step above Splendor, Century Spice Road was the go-to game. And it definitely harkens back to Splendor. It feels very similar to that game, but it does have some added depth and complexity to it. It gave me an extra reason to play, just with all the inner working mechanics, and I liked it a lot. Now that we're, probably 3 weeks removed since we last played it, my feeling right now is it's a good to very good game, but it's not something I currently feel like it has to be on the shelf.
I can see that. I really did enjoy it. I think, so it was like Splendor in the sense that you still have the same kind of goals to get your certain cards and get your certain items and things like that. But I feel like the mechanics of having cards in your hand that you use and have to get back, and you buy the cards for different actions, I just found that very, very unique. So I don't feel like it fits anything else. It's similar to Splendor, but it's very, very different.
I agree.
But I think it's good to at least keep on the shelf, only because it fits that niche. Because I did like Splendor, but it was very simplistic in a sense. It was very dry.
Yep.
So I think this game is good for me because it gives me a little bit more.
Yep, I agree. It's kind of good to hear you say that. So I guess we'll keep it for now. The last game that we played was actually just the two of us played it. We played Clank, a deck building game, which we love deck builders, and I love a good theme. This theme reminded me a lot of Dungeon Quest, which is one of our favorite games, despite it's not really that good of a game, but we have a blast dying by the dragon, or at least one of us, because you always walk out with the giant ruby and the giant diamond, and I die on turn 2. Anyways, so it has that similar theme, but what did you think of, first of all, did you know that Clank is it's kind of a hit right now. In fact, they just announced Clank in Space, which is more or less a spin-off of the game, but now knowing that
there's no sound in space.
No one can hear you scream in space. Anyways, what did you think of Clank?
I had a good time playing it. I felt like I got a really good card at the beginning that helped me get through it a little faster or a little better than I probably would have otherwise. But I still really liked the mechanics. I liked that you had certain cards that made a noise when you used them, and it just
They clanked.
Do they? Anyway, I really did have a good time playing it.
So we played as a 2-player game, and I think we both agreed that this is not necessarily made for a 2-player game. Like, it's one of those, you could play it as 2. It needs to be played as 3 or 4. I felt like the deck building was a click too simplistic.
Yeah.
I felt like the theme didn't fully shine through. Main reason is, 1, because I just thought the artwork was just okay. Number 2, I also thought that there was no sense of fear. Like, I never thought the dragon was going to awaken and burn me to death. And, okay, even if it does, as long as I get back past that halfway marker and I die, that's okay. Some people are going to come down, grab my lifeless body, and bring me back up. It's like, there's no real... And in a press your luck game, that sense of fear is everything to the game. So I will definitely play it again. But especially now, this is probably 2 weeks removed since we played this game. Like, my excitement to play it just continues to go down and down the longer we go without playing it. Not a good sign.
Nope.
But it was a good game. I mean, like, I would play it again.
I'd play it again.
All right, cool. Okay, last but not least, what has been your favorite game this year?
My favorite game... So we recently played Unlock. So it's just... It's like a mystery kind of a game. Not really. It's like puzzles.
An escape room
It's
game?
like an escape room game.
Okay.
Anyway, I just I like, so it's cooperative, and I think if you guys know me at all, I really like cooperative games. So it's just one of those games that I'm drawn towards. But the fact that you go in not knowing anything, and then you like figure stuff out and answer puzzles and stuff as you go, that just really really calls to me. And so the first time we played it, what was the first one?
Unlock the Formula.
The Formula, yes. And it was just a big hit for me. I had a lot of fun playing it, and I think especially we had a good team going on. Mm-hmm. And when you get with the right people and you're playing a good game, I just feel like nothing can go wrong. So yep. I felt Unlock is probably my favorite game this year. Okay.
I have to give the hats off to Mage Knight. Mage Knight is not new, but it's sort of new to us. I had bought it once before. I had played it a few times. I thought it was a little bit too complicated, too convoluted. Picked it back up again this year and have played it 15 times, which for a game that's normally 2 hours long for solo playthroughs, I'd be talking like 30 hours of playing the game. So I've sunk a pretty fair amount of time into the game. And again, I know it's not new, but boy, it has just really been the game this year. If I were to choose something that's truly new to me, it would be Near and Far so far, but we've only played that twice. But, I mean, Unlock we've only played twice when you consider the Formula and Squeak and Sausage. So, yeah, anyways. So, Near and Far, Mage Knight. But it would be interesting because we're hitting the holiday season. And so all of the new board games are releasing right now. We just talked about 3 that we've got in now. And then there's quite a few that we got in and just haven't played yet. So it'll be interesting to see how this changes. We'll have to do another podcast at the end of the year and see what our favorite game of the year was. Well, hey, I think that's it for now. I think that was less than 20 minutes. All right, awesome. Well, hey, thanks for watching the Rad Chad Show, and
this is Audrey, and if you guys want to see me in any more videos, please hit the like button.
Thanks. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for watching the Rad Chad Show. Till next time.